Hey, hello, Matt. Welcome to the pre-game hangout before our uh, Westgate Destiny game. The
Eric is
whole crew is
slightly
here.
off kilter.
I am slightly out kilter, diagonal. I don't know what's going on exactly. I might try and fix it. It probably won't make it better.
Oh, I
It's the
just
Oh
bourbon.
noticed.
no, that made it worse.
Yeah. It's not like you do
Okay,
this every
okay.
week or something.
I honestly, I have never had this issue come up before, and I don't know what's going on. And I haven't had
It's just
anything
the
to drink
camera tilt.
today. Maybe it's because I drink bourbon during the game and it makes everything look tilted, but it tilts the other way than what I have set up, so it looks straight.
Are you saying you have to drink bourbon now then?
Yeah, probably. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah.
Welcome.
If he doesn't want to drink, he doesn't have to drink.
She's an enabler.
Yeah.
I didn't say pusher, I said enabler. Yeah, wow. Whole gang back together, except for Steven, who is lurking in the shadows.
Chat just called you a crooked DM. It all
Wow.
makes sense.
Wow. Chat, you
Put
are
chat on.
right.
So chat, real quick, we got a treat for you. Norse Foundry has given us 2 extra dice to give away.
Yeah.
And this week we're giving away an 11-piece Dead Man's Gold Dead Man's Gold dice set. So full set of the original dice, plus 3 d6s, plus 1 extra d20. Exclamation mark ticket to enter.
It's gonna be great. Highly recommended.
Did you all have good holidays? Okay, that's a lot of enthusiasm. They must have been great.
Oh, sorry.
Amazing
I
holidays.
thought
thought
you were
you were
still talking
asking
to the
Pat.
chat. So,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
well, the Dutch Scrawlers had a holiday party, which did not happen on the day it was originally planned to happen because of incredible weather.
Bad.
Well, I don't want to hear about it.
Oh,
Sorry, Rhiannon.
I was down in Portland, chat, so I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. With the weather, I decided to arrive at family house before I would get iced in at my apartment, and that was correct, in fact. So we were busy arguing on Christmas Eve because we do the in my family, we used to sing because my parents are in the choir and my sister and I were for a while too. We would sing at the 2 Christmas Eve church services. And in between, we would go out for dinner at the Chinese food place or whatever. And so did just one of the services this year, but we were arguing about which place to go to where we would be sure that they had shoveled their sidewalks sufficiently, so that we wouldn't have trouble with the ice getting in there. So it was hanging around even instead of Christmas Eve. And then it had melted mostly by Christmas Day, but everything was shut. So if you hadn't done your shopping, you were boned.
no.
I felt really bad for one of the delivery drivers because the worst day of the ice, my father opened the door to look out, and it was like, nope, not walking out there. But he pulled in a package from the front stoop, and I was like, somebody was delivering today, and in fact, they had delivered this shirt actually, my online thrift store order, and I was like, these weren't presents. You didn't need to hurry to get them to me. I could have had them after Christmas. So I got my online thrift shopping order right on time. So thank you,
Nice.
delivery driver.
Yeah, I want to give an extra shout out to all the delivery drivers this holiday season. I got
Yeah.
a number of Amazon deliveries that nobody really should have been driving in that weather. Appreciate it.
Agreed. They
Do
are the true champions.
they get hazard pay in those conditions?
I mean, they should, but I bet they don't.
I heard that there's something about if you have an Amazon Alexa and you get a delivery, you could tell the Alexa to tip the driver and they earn a $5 additional amount from Amazon. From Grandpa Bezos.
Did you see the captions thing in Discord that Doug was talking about, Yang Yang?
No.
Just a heads up, our tech person.
Oh, we have a duplicate.
It's not functioning properly.
Anyway, I can keep chattering while he does the tech. Our poor tech person making him talk and tech at the same time.
Yeah, the holidays were kind of chill for me this year. My parents came up to visit the weekend before all the snow and sleet and ice, and then it was just starting to snow when they left. So they squeaked out of here before everything shut down. So, and then, most of the rest of the time I just kind of hung out. We watched Glass Onion twice because it's a real good movie.
Yeah, I watched it in theaters at Thanksgiving, and then I'm like, welp, because of the hellscape in which TV exists, like I better watch it so that Netflix knows that I really, really, really like it. There better be more. So, not that it was hard to watch it again, but I watched it on Netflix as well.
Totally.
I mean, he has at least the contract for the third one. I'm hoping that Netflix won't be like, well, this was just too popular. We better cancel it. It seems like they do that to everything else. So,
Did you guys see? So, Glass Onion was a great movie. Did you
Yeah.
guys see The Invitation?
Yes.
What do you think?
Well,
That's a good
so
reaction.
I did enjoy the movie. I want to point that out. It was not what I was really expecting. I mean, it's kind of in the genre of, whoops, I'm married into a really effed up family sort of horror, right? And then it goes in a direction that I probably could have expected, but it was more along the lines of, I don't know if they're really going to go there. Are they really going to get? They really did go there. Okay, fine. And it was probably a bit better before the reveal.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoyed the first half immensely, and then once they made the reveal, it just, I don't know what happened. It's like they got a different director or a different writer or somebody, but it just became the most straightforward, dumbed down horror movie that you could possibly expect.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Which, I mean, fine, okay. Like it had a certain level of cool, empowered, the characters that you care about getting their just desserts, right? But at the same time, I'm like, it was better written in the first half. And then in the second half, they took not necessarily the easy way to go, but not the way I would have gone.
Yeah, it could have been like a new Get Out for a different horror creature that would have been super awesome. But alas.
Yeah. I mean, the effects were pretty good. Like I liked it. I thought I was entertained. And they built tension pretty well again in the first half.
Seen the menu.
Oh, yeah. Emily was telling me about that, but I haven't seen that yet.
Is that horror too?
It's built as black comedy horror, but it's more just
okay.
black comedy thriller, I guess. But basically it just makes fun of foodie culture. And if you watch the trailer for it, it totally looks like it's gonna be cannibalism. It doesn't.
Well, we're all expecting it, right? Cannibalism is an excellent source of horror.
I mean, it's definitely no Silence of the Lambs.
I was busy watching Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That was my non-Christmas movie that I've watched recently. I really liked it. I mean, I knew I was going to, because Guillermo del Toro, I just love his aesthetic. But I tried to watch his horror, The Cabinet of Curiosities or whatever, that came out at Halloween, and I was like, Guillermo del Toro, horror, can't do horror. For Guillermo del Toro. So I was happy to have Pinocchio, and I'm like, yay, I can do kids movies for Guillermo del Toro.
Nice.
It reminded me that I actually dislike the sort of fundamental Pinocchio story, but then by the end, I liked his take on it. So,
do they change the base story enough that it feels fresh?
So I would recommend that anybody who wants to watch it to like stick with it a little bit, because there's sort of a bit at the beginning where we meet Geppetto's original son, and then that's its own thing, and then we meet Pinocchio himself, and I found that meeting Pinocchio himself did drag a little bit because it didn't feel that new, because there's when you have a Pinocchio story, in the original story, Pinocchio, before he's a real boy and sort of learns to be better, is very like nasty and kind of annoying in that little kid way that they do sometimes. And in the Disney one, he's very sort of wide-eyed and naive, that leads him down the path of, you know, sin. And in the Guillermo del Toro one, he has that wide-eyed naive aspect to him. And so I thought, oh, this is like, he's so naive, he's led astray, blah. But as he loses the naivete, it got really much more interesting than that. So I'd say anybody watching it, don't be put off by that sort of, when we initially meet Pinocchio, he's not going to stay that way. Because when I saw that originally, I was thinking about the Pinocchio story, and I'm like, I'm kind of not interested in either of those two, either the inherently bad child or the so naive that he can't tell right from wrong child. Like, neither of those interest me. But the sort of naive long enough to begin to figure out how he wants to interact with the world and relate to people, I'm like, okay, that I can get behind.
Yeah, you kind of remind me of Squid Games. Like, I almost could not watch Squid Games because that first episode, like, the father figure was just so repulsive to me. Like, he was a bad dad, he was a gambler, like, he took he like stole money from his mom and like gambled it away. Any chance that he had at like redemption, he just squandered. And I almost couldn't make it through that first episode because I just hated him so much. But I'm glad I stuck with it.
Yeah. And if you do watch, or even I guess if you don't finish it, the making of is like really great for Pinocchio. They've been doing well on those in Netflix, because there was one for $18.99 that I watched as well. That was actually worth watching, because I'm used to those.
$18.99, RIP.
Yeah.
Was it canceled?
They just didn't renew it for another season.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
I thought you heard.
No, I hadn't. I missed that one. Damn it.
Oh well, game's canceled, everybody.
Yeah. Go watch $18.99 and send Netflix
Well,
letters.
I mean, because I was like, can they land this? But apparently they landed The Dark well. So maybe I'll just go watch The Dark, because apparently that got to have as many seasons as it needed for its whole thing. Anyway, the making of
Dark
was
is
actually
pretty great.
worth the watching on that, because I'm used to the making ofs where they seem to consist only of like the director saying, I tried to like bring out the villainy in the villain character, and then you have the actor who played the villain saying, and I wanted to play him really angry and villainous, and then we have this clip of like the villain monologue, and then we have the director saying, and the hero, I tried to make him really heroic. And I'm like, having watched this show, I am indeed aware that that was exactly what was on the surface, and I don't need the actor to tell me. Like, they were really plumbing the depths of like the villainy of the villain. Erin seems like she's muted.
She's saying things but is muted.
Oh, I am muted.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, here's the nuance. The role I played
So the 1899 and the Pinocchio were actually more about the technology and about the artistic vision and bringing in the costume designer and set designer and all that sort of like interesting stuff.
Yeah, it does sound interesting.
I mean, it should have been, yet somehow Emily in Paris continues to be like Netflix's like #1 show. I can understand it on one level, but I also just lament. I just
I
lament all the good
understand
art.
it on 0 levels. Like what is the level you understand it on? Please.
Some people just want a show that they could turn on in the background that has like pretty people wearing nice things and like kind of bad things happen to them, but they always fail upward every time. No, with no question.
Your description of that just made me want to stab someone with an icicle.
I mean, I get that. Like, I watch background shows, but I feel like there are ways to have background shows that find aspects of that in actual life as opposed to like cloud fantasy land where there's infinite money and etc. Like I don't know. I mean, so Emily in Paris in particular, there was a YouTuber who actually had been an au pair in France and talking about how not only was it completely wrong, but I feel like when it's completely wrong and also it's completely wrong in a way that sort of goes against the sort of experiences of people, and in this case, not even like super marginalized identities, but like, au pairs who get into real trouble and get into abusive situations and like are stuck there. And like, sort of, I wish that we could find something to have this fantasy of infinite money about that's not like so having trouble in the real world. But
yeah, they're like sugarcoating a dire situation in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Oof. My girlfriend just likes to put it on in the background while she online shops, and occasionally she looks up at the screen and is like, "Oh, I like what she's wearing," and then Googles what that is, and sees how much it is.
Because I just do that with cooking competitions. Like
Nice,
if I'm
nice.
doing chores or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
they're cooking and you don't really have to follow it very much, and they're talking about different interesting things they're doing, and you look at the
Yeah.
dish when they're done. So I figure that that's pretty safe.
I'm with you. Love that food porn.
Can't watch it when I'm well, I can't watch baking shows when I'm trying to like not have as many desserts. Somehow the other food porn doesn't screw up my sort of like appetite in the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there have been times when I think it's because I don't tend to like crave. I mean, I'd enjoy it if I had it, but I don't crave the sort of showy food. There have been episodes where there's been in the background of like diners, drive-ins, and dives where I'm like, oh man, I want a burger now. Because burgers are sort of a cravey thing for me, but I don't tend to want that sort of like confit duck with pomegranate jewels. Like I'm like, okay.
Confit duck with platypus. And you're like, yeah, all right. That's interesting.
I'll be honest, I love that stuff. Give it all to me.
But do you crave it? Like if you see it on the screen, are you like, oh, I gotta go get me some of that?
Not for the taste, but more out of curiosity. I'm like, ooh, I need to
okay.
bookmark that just to try it once. We'll travel to food truck.
So Japan has this like variety show that they play every year for New Year's. It's like this 4-hour special where it's like celebrity check or something where they get a bunch of like singers and actors and comedians or whatever, and then they have to like do like tests where they guess which is like the most expensive, the least expensive, and sometimes there's a third tier which is just listed as garbage.
Whoa.
So it's things like wine, which is the $10,000 bottle, which is the $50,000 bottle.
Jeez.
every year they do a steak test. So the top tier is always something like Wagyu or of that quality. Mid tier is just like supermarket steak, and then garbage tier, it changes. Sometimes it's pork, and people have gotten that wrong. This
Nice.
year it was raccoon.
Whoa.
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
No, no.
Whoa.
What?
Well,
no.
the thing is, like,
I would try.
there were a couple
No.
people, there were a couple of the celebrities who had that, and then after the fact, they were like, "That was surprisingly tasty."
I mean, I believe it.
It's the rabies.
yes, yes. Danger steak.
I mean, because I'm here with the like, oh, anthropology degree, and so it's culturally determined. Would you eat crickets? No, I would not eat crickets. I would not
I would eat
like,
crickets. I have eaten crickets. I will
Ditto.
not eat a raccoon.
Love them as chips. Love them fried. Crickets are great.
They're mostly just crunchy.
I guess.
Like they just taste like the seasoning, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like
I have
chicken
not
No.
had the big like what are they called? The big grasshoppers
your
they put in
forest
tacos
strength.
sometimes.
Locusts?
Oh, yes, yes,
No,
yes.
there's a name for it.
Oh, I just meant locusts are tasty. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the sub, Brian. Appreciate it. A lot of people are chiming in with crickets are tasty, crunchy. Had them in Japan. was it?
Chapulines, deep fried grasshoppers. I have not had those. I have seen them on the menu, but I was sharing tacos with someone who is not keen to eat grasshoppers, so I passed.
I mean, if you pay me, if I was on one of those reality shows where it's like, we'll pay you to do weird
Oh,
stuff, I
heck
would,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
would pay
that's-
for that, but not
be
before.
mad.
Not if you don't pay me.
Wasn't there one where they fed them cockroaches?
I think so.
Huh.
The
And
Fear Factor or something, I don't know what it was, but I think it was still alive when they were trying to get them to eat that.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
yeah, I'm
As
not
far
into
as
that.
like cockroach-sized stuff, and no.
Yeah.
I definitely have a price in terms of that. You can pay me enough to eat almost anything. But I'm not cheap, but I would do it.
Okay, one cricket,
So,
Steven,
cooking-
$20?
Well, no,
I
I'd probably try cricket anyway,
Oh, okay.
but but seriously, for $1 million, I cannot think of anything I would not eat.
Human being. There you go.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
own finger.
Oh,
There goes
I'd have
Aaron
to
with the
think
hand
about
thing.
that. But $1 million is that's
After
10
taxes, is that enough to lose a finger?
Who says after taxes? It's just in cash under
know,
the
You're
table.
gonna commit
Oh.
tax fraud. You're gonna commit tax fraud and be down a finger.
Well, when
Did
they
For
see
the
an
rest-
adverti-
record, for the record, rabies is inactivated by cooking. So if you are gonna eat a raccoon, it's not raccoon tartar.
I was going to say, I saw a service that advertised growing steaks from your own body cells.
Ooh.
Weird.
And I was just like, nope, 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 nope,
Wow.
nope, nope, nope.
I mean, rich people get hella
But
bored.
$1 million.
Like some,
Rich people get hella bored.
like
I mean,
somebody-
at that point, I don't know, man. Buy a moon or something.
yeah. Somebody
Oh, man.
thought that there was like enough of an industry there to make a whole entire company doing that. Like that's not, cheap equipment. That's very specialized knowledge. You got like, a bunch of experts that I imagine are in high demand. I want to know, I want to look at their annual report. Like how much money are they making?
I mean,
It might be that they make none because what they're doing is they are convincing rich asshole venture capitalists to give them money to like pitch to the rich asshole market. And so rich asshole venture capitalists think like, well, obviously, like we would buy it. So tons of other people must be buying it. That's my theory.
I would love to watch that pitch. Like put me in the room. I want to hear their pitch deck. Let's see it.
I mean, if you want to eat yourself, just like bite the inside of your cheek. Honestly,
If you want
it's
to
basically
hear-
the same thing. It's like,
On
By
that note, we have
accident,
to
on
take our break.
purpose.
So
peel off your dried lip skin and then eat that. I don't know.
That's a thing. Autophagy. Autophagus.
Autophagy.
Yeah, autophagy. There we go.
Mhm.
I encountered someone who had the habit of plucking their own hair and eating it.
That's how you get Bezors. And on that note,
Yep.
let us go to our
Bezors.
little break
See, I
before
tried to
the
stop us
show.
before it got even worse.
Yeah. Don't eat yourself in
Yeah.
the meantime. Okay,
Yeah.
bye.